Hello guys and welcome to VoloKin Project. Today I'm gonna do a full review of the Honor Note 10, the 7-inch monster from China. And before I start the review, I must say something very important. If camera is the main reason you're buying this phone, if you're ever planning to use your camera, do not buy this phone. Now, this phone has a major issue accumulating dust underneath the camera glass, which basically enters into the phone through the speaker grill at the top over here. I've made a whole video just covering that problem, and unfortunately this is not covered by your warranty. While I still haven't replied officially to this problem, there are lots of people on the XDA, on the GSM Arena and on the Baidu, the Chinese forums, complaining of that issue. Some phones are affected, not all, but have this in mind, guys. If you're planning to use this phone as a camera phone, do not buy this phone. But on the other hand, if you're planning to keep it just at home as a tablet because of the huge screen, then who cares? Continue watching the video. But that's not all. Issue number 2, the frequencies. Now, if you live in Europe, this phone does not support band 20, which is a major drawback because it's causing a battery drain, as well as you don't have 4G in many places. Don't get me wrong, this is the Qbot P20, 120 quid Chinese phone, and it does support band 20. So I don't know what is Honor doing, to be honest with you. They have no excuse of not including band 20. If you live in the US, you're gonna get absolutely no 4G because this phone doesn't support any of the 4G frequencies over there, as well as any of the CDMA frequencies. So basically, if you live in the US, look for another phone. And now we come to problem number 3, no wireless charging. That's not a big deal for many people. I've got 3 wireless chargers. Where is it? One is over here, the other one is over there. I've got 3 chargers, but I don't use them that often, so I'm kind of okay with that, to be honest with you. Plus, the charging times are really phenomenal on this phone, guys. It has 5000 mAh of battery and full charge takes just 1 hour 45 minutes. To be precise, half an hour is going to give you 43% and 1 hour 81%. So in that case, I'm not going to complain too much about no wireless charging. And now we're coming down to the last issue, number 4. Yep, no 3.5mm jack of a phone that big. I'm going to tell you where's the problem with that. Xiaomi Mi Max 3 over here. Bigger battery, actually a little bit thinner, and it has 3.5mm jack at the top. So why they haven't included this, I have no idea. And you know, it's not about buying accessories like Apple. They actually give you this dongle in the box. So I really have no idea what were they thinking. But the problem is that the quality of this dongle is actually not good, guys. The quality is just about average. So basically you gotta buy yourself one of those HTC dongles or the Essential dongle or the Xiaomi dongle. I've got a video on that as well, covering all the dongles available. So with the HTC dongle, actually I'm able to match the sound output of the Xiaomi Mi Max 3, which is actually great. So unfortunately, although you do have a dongle in the box, you're gonna have to spend a little bit extra money and get a real proper branded dongle. Okay, so these were all the major issues that I'm having with this phone, and from here on the review gets quite positive because this phone definitely has some very good qualities. And while we're still talking about audio, let me tell you that the rest of the audio experience is phenomenal. You've got 2 stereo speakers, one at the top over here and one at the bottom, and the stereo separation is real and the sound is coming from them 50-50. And really, these are one of the loudest and one of the greatest quality stereo speakers on any phone. Take a listen. Now let's talk about battery life a little bit. I talked about no band 20, which is causing battery drain issues, and I already talked about the recharge times, but how good exactly is the battery life? 5000 mAh of battery, guys. My expectations were quite high, to be honest with you, but the phone kind of failed to deliver, because I'm getting between 7 and 10 hours of screen on time. And in case you might say, oh, that's not actually that bad. Well, actually it is that bad, because there's the Pocophone over here. With 4000 milliamp hours of battery, I'm getting 12 hours of screen on time. And considering that we have an AMOLED screen over here, which is supposed to be more power efficient, I just don't see the battery to be that great, to be honest with you. Okay guys, so let's have a look at my battery statistics. Now, I'm not gonna say, oh, this phone is gonna last you day and a half. No. I'm giving you detailed statistics. Check this out, 9 hours and 30 minutes over here. And that's my usage. 7 hours 28 minutes, and this is my usage as well. 7 hours 24 minutes over here, again my usage. 7 hours 14 minutes with just 3% left over here, guys. And again, this is my usage. And the last one that I have 8 hours 38 minutes with just 8% left, which is more or less 9 hours. Okay guys, so let's talk about design and build quality briefly. If you want a little bit more hands-on time with the device as well as a size comparison, please check my unboxing and size comparison of the Note 10 over here. If not, check this out. The phone is very big, but due to its narrowness, it's actually quite manageable with one hand. For example, the Xiaomi Mi Max 3 is wider and therefore impossible to use with one hand. But actually, again, the Honor Note 10 is manageable with one hand. Now, the sides are made of kind of aluminum, and the back is really glossy and it's almost like a mirror finished. And the problem with the glass back is that you're gonna end up with the Xperia XZ Premium over here with a cracked glass. So that's why you have to carry this case all the time, guys, which takes away of the pleasant experience a little bit, but as well is gonna protect your phone. Now the problem with that is that the case, it's 30 grams alone. So with the overall weight with the phone, you're looking at 250 grams in your pocket, which is a little bit too much. The other thing is that the fingerprint reader placement. Check this out. When you operate the phone like that, your finger comes over here. This is a little bit of a stretch to check the fingerprint reader, but once you get to it, it's really fast and accurate, guys. Check this out. It's absolutely phenomenally fast and accurate, so no complaints about the fingerprint reader. You've got face unlock as well. Let me show you how it works. Basically 100% of the time, and it's very reliable. So let's talk about software a little bit now. EMUI is definitely my favorite software of them all. The highest level of customization, comprehensive team support. Okay guys, so that's the pitch black theme I have downloaded for free from the official Google Play Store. By the way, you've got the Play Store, you can download it from the Huawei whatever application it is, so don't worry about any international ROMs or anything like that. Google Play Services works without a problem. So back on the theme, it changes absolutely everything on this phone, guys. I've got the status bar changed over here, as well as dark mode enabled to all the icons. Of course, there's another application you can download which allows you to tweak every single aspect of the theme, so you've got whatever customizations you need available at your hands. Updates as well. I have the phone for a little bit less than a month now, or maybe a little bit more than a month, and I got like 3 updates. Still no Android Pie, but don't complain, Android Oreo is running pretty good on this phone. You're not gonna get any issues. So overall, software definitely thumbs up. And there's something else which I really like about this phone, guys, is the options you have when it comes down to gestures and navigation of the whole system. Now I'm using the gestures at the moment, which is basically swipe up to go home, swipe left or right to go back, and swipe and hold to activate the multitasking. You can as well use the Android Pie single key navigation, a little bit of a, this bar over here, or the 3-key standard control panel over here with the 3 navigation buttons. You can reorder them whichever order you like, or you can use the navigation dock over here. So plenty of options, and I'm very happy about that. Okay, what about performance and gaming? Now this one has absolutely no problems with the performance. Kirin 970 on a 1080p screen, you're gonna have absolutely no problems. The phone is very quick, maybe not on the Snapdragon 845 level, but definitely on the 835, which is definitely good enough. Now, in terms of gaming, you've got the GPU turbo, you've got a dedicated button over here. Well, according to my testing, it does absolutely nothing, guys. And it's a gimmick. Now, if they put a 4K screen, which they should have put actually, that could have made some difference, but in that case, GPU turbo, again, is just a gimmick. Don't rely on that. The gaming performance is actually very satisfactory, so you're not gonna have any problems with any games. And now what about the screen, you might say? 7-inch, only 1080p screen, guys. And how can I put it? The display and the overall quality, saturation, black levels and all of that, because it's an AMOLED screen, is pretty damn good. But on the other hand, the Honor Note 8, the previous model, had actually a Quad HD screen. So in that terms, in terms of resolution, that's a downgrade. And you're definitely gonna see that, because on a 7-inch screen, sometimes you see an icon or a text or something like that, and it's a little bit pixelated. So the only solution to that is, you know, when you're playing on the phone or something like that, just keep it a little bit further from you and you're not gonna see the pixels. But otherwise, if you're one of those people like me who are, you know, playing with the phone like that all the time, then you might see some individual pixels. Okay, and the last thing I'm gonna talk about today is the camera performance. Now remember this button that I showed you a little bit earlier, the GPU turbo button, it also acts as a shutter button. I don't recommend using it because the phone actually doesn't have an optical image stabilization. So using this button is going to make the phone a little bit wobbly. So especially in low light, don't use this button, just press it on the screen. Now in terms of camera quality, I already mentioned about the dust. It interferes with the autofocusing a little bit. I'm not sure if it's because of the dust or because of the bad autofocus of the phone, but no matter what the case is, the autofocus, it's not good, guys. It's wandering around, it's not exactly sure what it's doing, it's pumping a little bit, so I don't like the autofocus. I'm gonna say that straight away in the beginning of the camera review. So when we talk about the front-facing camera, I actually quite like it. It's a 13 megapixel unit, it's very sharp, and overall I like what I'm seeing, guys. I'm gonna show you a few examples now. You've got quite a bunch of beauty mode options. You've got the studio lighting, which is not very good to be honest with you, but apart from that, the dynamic range is good. I mean, most of the highlights are not blown as most other cameras, so I would definitely say that this is one of the best front-facing cameras ever built up until now. Now the video is just 1080p, guys. There is actually stabilization, electronic one, and it works quite well. It's not exactly on, let's say, 1+6 level, but it definitely gets the job done, and I'm really happy when the stabilization on the front camera works fine. So the overall package of the front camera, I'm really happy with it. Now when it comes down to the rear configuration, we've got one 16 megapixel and one 24 megapixel black and white camera, which I don't know what exactly it does, but black and white shots, I mean, come on guys, in Photoshop you can get whatever black and white filter you want, so you can tweak it to your liking. So just forget about this camera. The bokeh is good, on par with any other phone. I don't take bokeh photos, to be honest with you, but it's definitely good enough. Now when it comes down to the quality of this camera over here, guys, I'm actually pleasantly surprised, especially in daylight. This is definitely a holiday certified phone, guys. I would definitely take this phone on a holiday because the camera application is so comprehensive. There are so many modes, so many settings, that this is the overall package, I would say. Now, when it comes down to the quality of the photos themselves, yes, in daylight, the results are really good, guys. I'm really happy with this camera. Now, when it comes down to low light, I'm not exactly that happy as I am with daylight, because there's quite a lot of noise present, guys. Of course, you've got this super night mode or whatever they call it, which basically takes a bunch of photos for a few seconds and then combines them together to give you a little bit more light. It's very similar to the effects seen on the Huawei P20, but the quality is not actually that good. Again, there's plenty of noise, but overall, I would say that I'm happy with the picture that I'm seeing, guys. I'm gonna show you a few examples over here, but again, despite the noise, I'm overall happy with the low light performance of this camera. And now when it comes down to video, I'm not that happy, to be honest with you, because the 4K doesn't really have any stabilization whatsoever, so it's very shaky. You must use a gimbal or a tripod if you want to have a steady video. So basically the other modes includes you know, slow motion on 120 FPS, which is not great, but you know, it's there, it does something, I guess. Another option of the camera is this AR lens, which is absolutely ridiculous, to be honest with you, but anyway. Now the other camera option that you have is 3D panorama, which is a little bit of a weird one. Check this out, what's going on, guys. You can actually do some sort of a 3D of an object, but to be honest with you, I don't really see the point, because you rather do a video of the object itself, because you cannot view this image on any device apart from the phone itself. Now, of course, you've got 1080p on 60 FPS, the quality is absolutely terrible. Have a look. Okay guys, so we're back at 1080p 60 FPS, and unfortunately we do not have stabilization as well. I can see some autofocusing issues as well going on. So the other option is 1080p at 30 FPS, and I'm happy to report that the stabilization is actually quite good, guys. It's not one of the best I've seen, but it's on a very good usable level. So you have the good stabilization on the 30 FPS 1080p, and you have the sharp 4K without a stabilization. At least you have the options over here. So yeah, that was my full review of the Honor Note 10, guys. Again, if the dust underneath the camera lens and the problems with the reception are not, you know, major issues for you, if you're gonna use this phone as a tablet on Wi-Fi only, it's definitely worth the price tag of 400 quid. Because of the immersive experience that you're getting. Although the display is not one of the sharpest around, it's definitely good enough because it's AMOLED, and the stereo speakers, man, they're mind-blowing. They're really good, one of the best available. So yeah, it's a pretty good phone. Overall, I'm not sure if I recommend it. I personally don't like when a phone has a major issues, because there's something inside me which always bugs me, and I always think about the issues. So I can't really, you know, fully enjoy the phone knowing that there are issues with it. Thank you very much for watching, and adios.